Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Ipshita Bansal from BPS Women's University, Sonipat, Haryana. Today we will be discussing about the module Training and Development of the paper Strategic Human Resource Management. After studying this module, students will be able to understand and realize the importance of training and development activities and how it goes hand in hand with achieving the firm's missions and aims. Have an in-depth knowledge of strategic training and development techniques. Understand how to formulate an efficient training and development program. Training and development is the procedure to attain and forward the information, expertise and capabilities required for the completion of a particular job. An ideal coaching is always connected to organizational missions and output. It becomes a component of an entire company scanning plan, an integral part of company policy, and focused on setting tangible objectives for employees. Coaching in an establishment helps in aiding the staff to attain the expertise and knowledge needed for their particular job profiles. Development is focused on future needs and is explained as coaching the horizon of which is beyond the present day's requirements and supports sustainable long-term growth strategizing. Consistent ambition needs an establishment to focus on the requirements of the staff, ensuring quality coaching and development along the lines of strategic guidelines. An absence of this at all the strata of the establishment would lead to a dismal future. Skilled employees are equivalent to the growth of the company. Unskilled and badly coached staff is equivalent to the downfall of the company. The real question is, even if the customer has been identified, is it okay to center the establishment's proceedings on it? Extremely distinguished staff ensure that exceptional service is made available, fulfilling the customer's demands. So, employees should come before the customers priority wise. The staff creates the distinction between the successful and unsuccessful companies. Unfortunately, supervisors tend to ignore this maxim for the success and survival of their companies. Firms investing in the staff and nurturing their skills and career graph end up being sustainably successful in the future, in contrast to the failed companies who take the staff as a commodity ready to be disposed during hard times. The point to be noted is that the companies who put their staff on top of their priority list ensure a place for themselves in the market. For example, one of the best employers in the United States is the Wegmans chain of grocery stores with its headquarters in Rochester, New York. The firm stresses on the well-being of its staff, which has put the store on a pedestal and has become the benchmark and example as to how a local family managed store can very deftly give a tough competition to various national and international grocery departmental stores and survive. Type A organizational culture. As explained in the book Strategic Training, Putting Employees First, firms who inculcate the managerial philosophy of keeping the staff as priority employees have Type A organizational culture. This culture dominates when trust is the base of intra-organizational relationships. Collaboration and working together is propagated whereas groupism and biases are condemned. A sense of belonging in the employees is there, and they know that their tasks are crucial for the company's growth. Employees believe that their company is not just a money minting firm and has bigger humane goals than just making profits. In establishment with a Type A culture, the activity of foremost importance is the holistic growth of its staff. This is because the labor force is the component that drives the companies towards success and gives them an edge over the rest. The cardinal principle of a firm's sustenance is investing in the growth of their employees by instituting a healthy coaching culture. The strategic training of employees model, that is STEM model. This model provides a technique to structure proficient coaching and career acceleration programs to aid firms in maximizing output by incorporating optimum resources. The practicalities of the STEM model are: all the coaching modules should be built in accordance with the comprehensive aims of a firm. The STEM model puts in place a structured, organizable foundation for evolving an ideal coaching environment. The blueprint effectively aids in assessing the particular coaching necessities and is not rigid. The STEM model moderates the requirements of manufacturing and requirements for training. The director is an essential element of the strategic planning process according to the STEM model. The model incorporates job assessment techniques to decide what genre of coaching is required in the establishment. This is correlated to the planned missions of the establishment that aid in highlighting real coaching requirements. Using the STEM model will enhance the firm's interest in training, as it is directly proportional to the establishment's holistic plan and stresses on the requirement to gather statistics and feedback needed to gauge the success of the coaching. STEM makes available a usable structure for inspiring the staff, as it focuses on knowledge, expertise, and capability enhancement. Employees would require accomplishing the missions and goals of the firm. As and when the expertise of the staff is tuned in with the job requirement, a foolproof formula for the firm's success is put in motion. The STEM comprises of 3 levels: a macro level, a micro organizational training level, and an incorporation, review and assessment level. The macro organizational training level, the strategic objectives borne by the firm are combined with the coaching process. Vital planning happens at 4 levels: corporate, business, functional, and operating. And the coaching program should be integrated with all these 4 levels. The reason being that once the skill set of the employees are in harmony with the aims of the firm, the output increases exponentially. The micro organizational training level, once a job assessment is done, the firm initiates the forming of staff coaching routines. These are made on the ground of the work declared important to back the strategic objectives established by the management and the requirements essential for the fulfillment of each of these jobs. The training content is built on the 4 P's: product, place, promotion, and price. Assessment level. When the particular training program has been augmented, the final analysis level can begin to incorporate, review, and assess every coaching module. In this diagram, we see the details of analysis at the macro organizational training level and analysis at the micro organizational training level. At the macro organizational training level, there are 4 levels of strategic planning: at corporate level, at business level, at functional level, and at operating level. All these combined together results in task analysis, which move towards the analysis at the micro organizational training level, targeting the 4 P's: product, content of the training program; place, location factors; promotion, communicating information about training; and price, cost consideration. And the target markets are those employees who will be receiving the training. After this, there is a mechanism for implementation, feedback, and evaluation. STEM application example. Let's take an example of a large grocery store. Assessment at the macro organizational training level. Coaching scenario. A large grocery store has a vice president of general merchandise who takes upon building a merchandise display training program to make milestones for merchandising display standards. The coaching module would include 10 stores located in a particular location. The critical decisions undertaken results in job assessment. The results showed that general merchandise sector supervisor would need coaching. So we come to the next level, that is assessment at the micro organizational training level. First is staff target market. The general merchandise sector supervisors at the 10 stores in the location. Second is product goals. The tutor designated to build this coaching routine would have a discussion with the vice president of general merchandise to factorize the particular merchandise techniques and firm's display protocols. This coaching session would be made available in the form of a video as reference and training purposes in the immediate future. The training content would also include illustrations and practice sessions. This would be followed by creating a coaching tutorial in the form of a video for referencing in the future. Next is place objectives. The coaching is to be held at conveniently approachable, viable coordinates so as to minimize the time and money spent in traveling. The cost assessment would present in detail the equipment and supply expenses. Promotion objectives. As the director is one of the major role players in the crucial plotting assemble, the structuring of the coaching routine can commence immediately. Their store manager would make the general merchandise department managers aware of the training. Light would be thrown on the coaching schedules and sessions along with the significance of continual merchandising displays in the company newsletter. Price objectives. In an effort to reduce the cost, a training program is developed within the firm. Anyhow, a local video production company is brought on board to create a training video for forthcoming days. The same company is instructed to make a leaflet that will demonstrate the merchandise displays. Review and assessment level. The leaflet that illustrates the merchandising strategies and complete display protocols would be handed out to the novices. The pupils would then be asked to illustrate the merchandising strategies by putting an actual merchandise displays at par with the standards of the company. 3 weeks post the training, a meeting would be conducted between the director of training and every store supervisor to assess the working of the general merchandise supervisor. The Vice President of General Merchandise would pay a formal visit to the stores to examine the store displays and interact with store supervisors. A structured path for the development of coaching program is termed as training design process. Here we see the 7 steps in the system. Step 1 includes conducting a need assessment comprising of organization, person and task analysis, which is essential for figuring out whether training is required in the first place. Step 2 is ensuring employee readiness for training. It includes finding out whether that the staff is inspired and motivated to receive training, along with having the appropriate skill set in taking the training program. Step 3 is creating a learning environment. It includes identifying learning environment and the corresponding practices. Step 4 is to make sure that the training ritual is transferred to the jobs and implemented by the employees in their routine practices. This particular step requires the trainee to have an in-depth knowledge of the know-how to manage attribute improvement while gaining support of colleagues. Step 5 is to put in place an evaluation plan and assessment technique. It revolves around quantifying the effect of the program on a plethora of aspects, for example, learning, behavior and skills. After that, assessment method is selected that lets you decide the effect of coaching on the result and strategizing how to illustrate the training's influence on the bottom line. This is also called as averaging a training program's return on investment. Step 6 determines the selection of the training strategy solely based on the knowledge acquisition method and related aspects. This could have traditional methods of one-to-one communication with a tutor or learning online. Step 7 comprises of assessing the module as a whole and suggesting amendments or re-evaluating the earlier steps to improvise and better the training purpose. This is done for the overall improvement and attaining organizational objectives. The tutoring module system depicted in the figure is built on the principles of Instructional System Design (ISD). Instructional System Design is the system of constructing and evolving tutoring modules. However, this system is not unique. This coaching module is also called ADDIE model, as it encompasses analysis, design, development, implementation and evaluation. Whichever model is followed, few featured assumptions are common to all. Gauging the mission of tutoring are to be articulated prior to the commencement of coaching. Assessment acts as a pivotal element in strategizing and selecting a coaching technique, monitoring the coaching programs, and referring amendments to the coaching process. But there are certain loopholes in the ISD module. Firstly, in real establishments, the training design processes hardly stick to the structured, defined, per-step evaluation of the jobs described in the figure. Secondly, the attempts to customize the ISD in accordance to their standards, trainees are expected to make available the thorough working of each step. This increases the overhead cost of structuring a coaching routine. Third, the ISD concludes in assessment. No matter how sound the training design is, it needs a ceaseless designing process, implementation, assessment, and considering again the requirement that the process was expected to be like the knowledge acquisition surroundings, the conclusion of training, and the entire range of ISD process. So, let's now summarize what we have studied in this module. Training and development of the staff is of high importance to an establishment. This hints to the fact that the skilled human resources are priceless assets and worthy of nurturing, because much of the returns of investment in training and development may be difficult to quantify, particularly in the short run. Organizations should take a holistic view of training and development and devise suitable training and coaching systems, particularly with regard to the kind of employees and skills and knowledge bases necessary to achieve strategic objectives. Thank you.